Greetings and welcome to Wizards of Fun. My name is Eric, and we are back with round 4 from my trip to SCG Con Las Vegas, the Crossroads event. So we, at the time of this, we are going into our 4th match with 2 wins and 1 loss. We lost to Frogamago and then got 2 other wins. Yes, and handed our opponent our little makeshift business card that I brought to help share the Wizards of Fun channel. So please consider subscribing if you happen to be new. This was a game I was looking forward to because it was a gentleman that I also met in Houston, and you'll forgive his username, but he goes by the name of Poop Gore the Defiler. Ugh, disgusting name, but a beautiful human being. And got to chat with him in line for our Dragon Lord purchase, both in Houston, but also just before this match. Starting it off with a river. Tawny comes in, we get to scry the top card, which is a frog. I feel like I would keep that. Ooh, throwing it away. I didn't quite see my opening hand there, sorry. I should probably be commentating on the cards in hand. We'll hopefully get to see it in just a second here. On why I wouldn't have kept the frog. Maybe I already had a frog is my thought. We have a riptide, a cat, a pond. Perhaps it's just that we were planning to play the cat with the pond on turn 2, so we don't need a turn 3 play. I'm not exactly sure what my thinking was there, but decided... Actually, okay, I guess in hindsight, the idea with the frog is that you want to cast it when there's a minion to cast it onto so that you can swallow it. So having it on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 actually isn't that great because I don't have anything to swallow. So yeah, that's why. I was thinking turtle in my head just there. Frog is something you want to see later in the game. So shiny reflection off of the sleeves, but it's a pond, which allows you to play a beast for 1 less. And a cat is a beast that costs 3. So for my 2 mana, I was able to play a Lugbog cat. Which is just a very powerful card. It can be cast to any water site on the field. And it has 4 power, surprisingly. So getting it on turn 2 for 4 power is just great. I believe he cast a River of Blood here. And then casts a Vile Imp, which deals 2 and it enters. So he'd probably just hit my Tawny with it. But I believe that's a River of Blood. Oh. Yeah, and he goes, yeah, let's get rid of the Tawny. And I go, oh, I don't, okay. It's going to come back anyway. This is pre-nerf, so Tawny continues to come back. All right, and going for a spell for the turn, we get the Shapeshift. Yes, that is the theme of this deck. May as well rename the deck, what are we shapeshifting into? Because that's what the deck wants to do. As soon as I see that card, I just feel so much more confident that we're going to be able to turn Tawny into something big. There are enough big creatures in the deck that it's very unlikely that we don't draw a big creature. It's possible. I've had it happen to me. It's obviously, it's a card game, anything can happen, but the idea with the deck is that we have enough cards that even if I don't pull a big dog, I can still transform it into a cat or a pirate ship or a turtles, which are all still pretty good. Yeah, this gentleman, Poop Gore the Defiler, despite his his hilarious username, he was a very, very nice individual. Just very positive, just exactly the kind of personality that you love to see in the community of Sorcery. And River of Blood, it reads that it halves the amount of healing done in the game. So if you have a Ring of Morgan where it would heal you once every time you ping, it now heals you for 0. So very effective against that. I move an attack against his Vile Imp. And I was hesitant to do so because it feels like I'm walking into some sort of a trap. And I still can't recall if he actually follows up with something in a way that me having my cat 1 forward is a benefit to him. But if he didn't play it there, I would have attacked there anyways. Then I decide to pull my cat up even further with a Riptide just because. Just puts a threat right on top of his face. And I can draw another card. And then I'm just debating whether or not I want to get a sight to have that 4th mana for the Shapeshift or not. It looks like I am considering just grabbing it now. We already have good spells in our hand. This just gets the sight. We saw this, I think, in round 2, one of the previous matches, where it's just like, let's just get our 4th mana in our hand. Then we don't have to draw sights for a while. Like, in theory, most of the rest of the game. Because then, once we get to like turn 4, or to turn like 5, 6, and 7, I just tap my Druid to draw my sights in order to get up to my eventual 6 that I'll need for some of my bigger creatures. And then just, again, getting used to, in Sorcery, where to strategically place your sights. I decided to play it back as opposed to forward. Forward would be nice to get my Tawny up, but considering he's playing fire, he probably has deserts to kill my Tawny anyway. So just playing it back, and I don't think I used my Spring River's effect. Now that I'm watching the match, did I even look at my spell? I think we missed that trigger. I just played a river with the Tawny, and then I was trying to figure out where to play it, and then I forgot to look at the top card. Oops. So always remember to hit your triggers there. It's very easy to miss. In this game, there's a lot of things happening, and it can be very easy. I think it's forgivable that people miss things. Kelp Cavern allows you to look at your bottom 3 cards, and you put one of them on the top of your deck. So you don't necessarily get to draw it this turn, but he kind of gets to scry a card to the top for his next draw. It's a card I actually don't run, despite being a water card. I think it's quite good. I think arguably I could have it in the deck. There's no reason I couldn't. But I don't know. I decided not to. I felt I was running enough rivers that I can kind of filter that way. Kelp Cavern just kind of felt extra. And then the fact that you look at the bottom 3, and if none of them are something you want, it still has to go on top. So you can't look at all 3 and then go, nah, I don't want any of these, because that would be a much better filter. If you were able to look at 3 and then say, I don't want these, well then great. But if you get to look at 3 and most likely have something you want to put on top, then that's probably the general use case. All right, and he is polymorphing my cat. So we now know that he is, having played the Kelp Cavern and the River of Blood, that he is in fact a Steam Druid, very popular deck at the time of this video recording. Very aggressive, but just also has a lot of tools like Polymorph to be able to deal with threats. And again, I forgot to do my Scry, which is unfortunate, but it looks like we drew, was it the Hydra or the Storeroom? It was one of those two. So I don't know. I feel like I probably would have put it at the bottom. So it's unfortunate that I missed that trigger. Just because I wouldn't be able to play it for so many turns. Why have it in my hand? So, just, learning experience for a future match. I could have had a much better spell in my hand here. However, we're probably just going to shapeshift, and it's unfortunate that Tawny's in the back. So I think I'm just kind of considering where I want to move Tawny before doing the shapeshift. So we move Tawny up. I tap my Druid. I play a Babbling Brook in the corner, which doesn't affect anything because I don't want it to affect my Tawny. And then we shapeshift as soon as possible. So again, if you've seen my previous rounds, that's what this deck wants to do. I get to look at the top 5 cards and transform into any of the minions. Questing Beast is beautiful for the 5th because you can see the first 5. It's that or a pirate ship. So it's no question we play the Questing Beast here because the cards go in the bottom anyway. So it's not like, oh, I could play the ship to keep the beast for another turn. They're going to the bottom, so I'll probably never see him again. Unless you get Kelp Cavern, right? I guess that is a way you could strategically do some funny things with the water decks is you put all 4 of those cards on the bottom. They do go on the bottom randomly, but you shuffle and then hope that one of them is a Questing Beast, and then the following turn you play a Kelp Cavern and get it to put it back on top and then draw it. It's a little clunky. I think that's just where I just found the Kelp Cavern to be a little clunky. Like, you still get to scry your card, but it doesn't draw until the next turn, and I don't know. I figured rivers were enough, and again, I'm new enough at the game and naive enough at the game that with the game that I can just sometimes just say I'm gonna not play this card because I don't want to play this card. You know, I don't maybe even have to have that many reasons, but it was enough. I felt like there's other sites to play. I don't really need its effect. I get a lot of scry anyway. I'm just gonna not do it, and that's all there was to it. And then Questing Beast at the end of its turn can move 1 step, so I opt to do that. And it looks like I just kept the tawny. Oh my goodness, did I misplay? Oh my goodness, we're catching a lot of problems here. So I transformed my tawny into a Questing Beast, but kept the tawny on the field. And then he attacked with his into mine and then got a new one up. So we're making some mistakes here. Because that tawny should not have been there. I should have just had a single Questing Beast. So he would have still had a tawny on that spot. Oops. Hindsight's 2020, of course, watching over the shoulder and not being in the tournament and in the moment and a few rounds in. It can be easy to miss these triggers. So we've missed so far a Scry trigger and the Shapeshift. I guess I kind of cheated there on accident, so my mistake there. But he attacks with his tawny, gets another tawny back. So I think we both kind of just missed it. Tawnies, again, before the pre-nerf of Druid, just get traded so much. I think it's forgivable that you miss things like that. All right, decides to put a Lugbog Cat right on top. The Questing Beast, of course, has lethal, or Questing Beast, and I believe it has 5 power. Yeah, 5 power, lethal, and stealth, and it can move around once per turn for free. So it kind of has movement +2, because if you just move and then at the end of the turn move again, it doesn't get rid of stealth by doing that. And I believe, is that a Captain Baldassar in my hand as well? So it looks like I just decide to get rid of stealth to kill the cat. Just to do that. Looks like he has 2 spells in hand, if I'm seeing that correctly. I'm having a hard, not able to see it super clearly. Again, as we upgrade camera gear and stuff over time, I can probably get it a slightly wider angle of a shot. Or maybe a friend of mine, Mike, was suggesting just getting like a 360 camera, because then you can angle it exactly where you need it to be and like zoom in and stuff. So we'll consider some options for good cameras. If people happen to have a suggestion of like a really, really good camera for stuff like this, it'd be appreciated. All right, so just casting a cat of my own that I just drew on top of his face. We've already attacked with the Questing Beast, but at my end step, I pull the Questing Beast over 1 just to be in a good position to not get hit by anything. Just kind of keeping it safe over there. I want it to survive another turn or 2 if I can, get some more value out of it. Captain Baldassar in the hand is always good. Very, very powerful card that reads, if you attack a unit or a site, your opponent discards 3 cards, and then I'm allowed to play any of those cards. So the later in the game you get to do that, the better, because I'll have more mana to spend. It's a card that generally doesn't resolve, like you play it, and they just find a way to remove it immediately, because it's an immediate removal threats level of card. Like, you need to get rid of it. But when it does hit, oh boy. Gives you 3 cards, makes him discard. At the very least, it makes him discard 3 cards, which can be very good. And I personally didn't see any Archimago decks in this tournament, so I wasn't worried about adding things to their graveyard. Mirror Realm coming in. Let's see what he copies, if it's the Kelp Cavern or the River of Blood. Probably the Cavern. Or no, not the Cavern. What does he have? Floodplain? So I suppose he could copy the River of Blood or the Floodplain here. Puka's coming in. When it dies, I have to discard a card. And then the Adept Illusionist, which is a very cool card if you're new to Sorcery. It basically has a tap ability that says you can search your hand, your deck, or your graveyard and bring another copy of Adept Illusionist onto the field nearby. And it's an elite, so you can only have 2 copies in your deck. So once you have 1, and we know he doesn't have it in his graveyard, it means if it's not in his hand, he gets to search his deck for it and put it onto the field somewhere nearby. So it makes it hard to get rid of him, because in order to truly kill it, you have to kill both of them. Because I could kill one, and then the next turn he just taps and brings it back. So you can't just keep swinging into it, but it can also be a very good chump blocker in that sense, because it just has you know, potentially limitless value. So 4 mana. We've got a pirate ship. We've got a 5th mana we can throw down. We've got Captain Baldassar, which I believe is 3 mana. 4 mana, excuse me. It's 4 mana, so I could play it, but it's like, where am I going to attack? Probably not wanting to use that just yet. I do decide to attack with the cat, so yes, he loses the illusionist, but if he gets another illusionist later, he can always bring it back. So this, to me, when like sitting here, makes me think he has it in his hand, because why would he play it right there to block the cat if he knows it's going to die and then potentially not be able to get its effect next turn? It would have been probably more beneficial for him to play it on the Mirror Realm and then tap to find the other one to get it on the field and then start blocking. So this tells me he probably has it in his hand. But despite that, I say I'm still going to attack. That, or he just doesn't want to take the life. I mean, that's fair too. I decided to play a river within my body of water here. So I'm just kind of considering the implications of playing it over there as opposed to over here. Again, with water, it can be nice to have all of your sites kind of in a block, because I can kind of hold the fort, so to speak, as opposed to spreading out, and then he could play a site in front of his Mirror Realm and then have another avenue of attack against me. So I decided to kind of turtle up in the corner, so that if he does want to start attacking, he has to play something above his Mirror Realm, but then attack only in on that specific the pond right there. So I declare a move and attack. I suppose he can do a block with the Pukas. But it looks like he opts to not block. And then I put a Captain Baldassar down onto the side. And then have my Questing Beast pull over once more. Again, just getting away from his cat, or from... not his cat, rather, sorry, but getting away from any of his attackers, the Pukas and the Tawny, if they're able to attack into the Questing Beast and then hit it with a final hit. Because he also has his Druid there, he could kill my beast by sacking everything into it, so just pulling it away for safety. Get in for damage, and then move out of the way. Very, very, very good card. Who doesn't love a good Questing Beast? You guys will forgive me again. As far as, I don't believe anyone's taken life yet, but if they have, forgive me. We'll find it in a moment, I'm sure. Well, actually, no. Now that I'm sorry, his phone is the one on the right. So I actually may want to consider using my phone. I'm not sure what app he's using there, but it looks really, really cool. I might have to send him a DM and ask which one that is. As much as I like using analog stuff, you know, dice and pieces of paper, and I guess my magnetic little counter notepad there. The phone is not only visible on the camera. All right, looks like he attacks with both into the Captain Baldassar. I'm curious if I misplayed that. Like if I didn't think, oh yeah, you could just attack into Baldassar. I feel like, oh, and it's a discard at random. I forgot about that. So he decides to roll a die to determine. So that one gets discarded, and it's a Hydra, which is a very good card, so he's happy to see that go away. So my Baldassar does not get in for the... I believe that was a misplay. I don't see why I would have done it like that again. I mean, sure, getting rid of a Pukas in a thing is great, but I had to discard at random. I lost my Captain Baldassar threat. I'm going to chalk that up as a misplay. But I really like, I really like the app he's using. You can keep track of all your threshold, perhaps your mana and stuff. I'd probably still use dice to keep track of my own mana, but as far as like threshold and stuff, that looks nice. And then the life totals, of course. But again, it pops up on the camera where my current notepad does not. So again, I'll be slowly making improvements to the channel. There's our first blood. Get him down to 19. Get in for 5. Down to 14 for him. But yeah, again, with every event, with every month, with every paycheck, and with every video uploaded, I'll find little areas of improvement, and we will improve over time. Hey, a year from now, our channel might actually be pretty solid, you know? Get a lot of these just issues ironed out and get some new camera equipment and kind of have a better, you know, shooting schedule. Sorry to bore you guys with my thoughts on the editing side here, but just sitting here watching, I'm, you know, considering all of those things. Going to events and having a game plan of what needs to get shot and what doesn't need to get shot, and just coming up with kind of a production schedule and double checking of things and backing up of. I think I did a good job of backing up memory cards every night. You know, getting back to the hotel and making sure that those were safe. And on that front, I think we did fine. I didn't lose any equipment or anything, but for whatever reason, in the previous match, if you guys watched my round 3. The last portion of that match, for whatever reason, didn't record. So I don't know if the camera overheated or if the file got corrupted. I actually don't have an answer to it, but I think it's safe to probably blame the old camera. All right, and he plays a card whose name I forget, but its effect is that it destroys a site and everything on top of it. Something ablaze, I believe. I'll try to look it up. It's not Hamlets Ablaze or Castles Ablaze. Forgive me, I forget the name of the card. I'll try to find it here in Arthurian Legends. It's a spell. Again, you can always go to curiosa.io to look up these cards. So I think it's a magic, it's fire, and it's from Arthurian Legends. What card is that? All right, I can't see from the reflection, but I think that's a violin or a kobold, but it comes in and deals damage to my Tawny. Forgive me, I don't know the name of that card, but I just know it destroys the site and everything on top of it. Sorry, I am still learning. And that would be another benefit to getting a better camera, is it'd be easier to read the names of these cards. It is admittedly a little bit blurry here. Move an attack with the pirate ship onto his water. He blocks. It was a kobold, so it happened at the end step that he dealt damage to my Tawny on the previous turn. I tap to play a sight. Hopefully not miss my river trigger. Don't miss your trigger. Don't miss your trigger. There you go. Is that a polymorph? What is that? What is it? Eric, show the camera. So again, I'll get better at that too. When I look at cards, I'll tilt them just enough that my opponent can't see them, but that the camera can. Because it not only makes it hard for you to watch, but makes it hard for me to commentate a week later. I forgot what is that card? Again, we will improve with each and every video that we do here. Thank you guys for watching. If you are watching, I do appreciate it. Again, we're kind of just working with the equipment that we have. All right, so one Hydra got discarded, but we have 2 in the deck. We got another one. I just play a Hydra here and pass the turn. Whenever card was on top, we kept it on top. So let's see our situation here. He has 5 mana versus our 6. We've got a Hydra in a pretty solid position. He has 14 life. We've got a pirate ship right on top of him. So his pond was unfortunate for him. Just in that I was able to get on there. So we are threatening with 11 damage each turn here, including my Tawny. I've got a Messer Storeworm and a pirate ship, I think, in my hand. And I think those are the only 2 cards. So if he finds a way to get rid of the pirate ship, it's always nice to just play another one. Really love pirate ship. It's just a great card. It's an ordinary. Yes, it has waterbound, but if you can get a Bower of Bliss site, for example, which reads all mortals become beasts and are silenced, then it removes that hindrance from the pirate ship, if that makes sense. It turns the pirate ship from a mortal into a beast, and then it loses waterbound, which allows it to move off of water. So there is one copy of that in my deck. So it's overall a solid card. It can be hard to get off of the, it can be hard to get in for damage every time, but at the very minimum, it is a good blocker on my sites. And if they get rid of it, well, I have another one. And it's 5 power. So I just had to reconfirm that. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's 5 power. I've been playing with it a lot. I still forget. Looks like I'm reaching in to grab a token of some sort. Or perhaps they were passing out promos here and I put it inside. That might be it. During the event, they pass out promo cards. Lone Tower for this event. So that may have been what they just handed me there. I don't know. Ooh, and the manuscript. So manuscript is a cool card. It reads, the bearer has a tap ability that, and when it taps, you reveal your top spell. And the minion takes damage equal to that spell's mana. So if you can get it onto a creature that doesn't mind taking hits, like a turtle, or the Hydra that is immune to non-lethal damage, you get to draw a card. You reveal the top card and draw it, sorry, with the manuscript. We move forward with the pirate ship, get in for 6, 11, 12 damage there. Getting him down to 2 life from 14, and we're still sitting pretty at 20, so feeling pretty good here. Of course, it is sorcery, and we are playing druids, so he always has the option to flip and buy himself an extra turn or 2, and also, you know, getting to 0 doesn't end the game. He has Death's Door to fight again, and as you guys saw in round 2, I got my opponent to Death's Door fairly quickly, and they managed to come back and win with their druid. So he flips, which is not surprising. Buys him a turn, means I cannot kill him or get him to door unless I can somehow get rid of his Bruin. We have a Troll Bridge in hand, a Manuscript, and a Messer Storeroom. So I am feeling pretty good here. Just in that we have a really, really locked down board state. We hopefully next turn can just trade into his Bruin and kill it. And then attack for door. And then the following turn just get in for 1 damage and win the game. But this is sorcery. There's also cards called like Death Dealer that when they come in, it destroys all other minions in the realm, no matter where they are. So there's a lot of ways for him to just go and like reset the board and then come back. So you have to be careful. This is true in any card game, but especially in sorcery, I think the worst thing you can do is get cocky. Don't do it. Always assume they have an answer to what you're doing. Atlantean Fate is a good answer to whatever he is doing, though. My goodness. I wouldn't imagine I would play this right now, although I could play it on his Bruin. We're probably just going to trade a pirate ship here. That or I just attack with the Hydra, because then the Hydra doesn't die, and then I can just attack the site with the pirate ship. So I basically have as many, yeah, so I get him to door. That was a safer way to get him to door without him to trade with anything. And then I imagine I would just, oh, it looks like I just trade. That's interesting. I'm curious why I don't just attack with the Hydra to get rid of his Bruin. I mean, we have options here. You know, I could even, I don't know, move my Hydra away and then Atlantean Fate. I don't know why I would do that, but yeah, decide to do the right thing and attack with the Hydra. So next turn, I can kill him. And with an Atlantean Fate in hand, that's very, very good for me, because if he plays a bunch of minions to block, I can just drown them and then swing. So feeling quite good here. And then if we do kind of delay, it looks like we are getting the Manuscript onto the Tawny. So I imagine what I am doing here is tapping to sacrifice the Tawny. I reveal a Nelly Longarms, which essentially is a Pudge Butcher but in the water. It shoots out a projectile and pulls something in and drowns it. Then play a site to get my Tawny back. Beautiful. So the Troll Bridge isn't necessarily in a great, like, you know, strategic position for its effect. But I can cast, yeah, we already have him at door, so there's not really. And then I get a Nelly Longarms here, so if he does play any minions, I can also just pull them or pull his Druid over to my side and get in for a hit. So admittedly, that felt like a very good hand for me. We just have a lot of options. We've got a Manuscript that we can tap to draw more cards. We've got Pirate Ship and Hydra right on his face. And then not only that, we have Nelly Longarms to pull in his Druid all the way over if we want. The effect of the Druid at this time before the nerf does still affect everything nearby. So if I was to pull his Druid over and then I moved in toward him, anything moving toward him would take 1. So it's worth noting. May not really matter here, but still worth noting as far as the effects and the way damage is dealt. So he moves his Tawny, which is smart because that prevents Nelly Longarms from being able to hit his Druid. So if I do use Nelly to pull Tawny out of the way, but again, we have Atlantean Fate. So if I can just strategically move my Hydra out of the way and then drown everything that he plays in that 2x2 radius, it just drowns them all and I'll just get out and win. So plays a Mirage. I forget what Mirage does actually. I'm gonna have to look it up. I know it's a fire spell. But yeah, so he plays lots of things that will not survive the drowning. And even if he makes me discard, Atlantean Fate gets played regardless. Mirage reads, when played, you may return a site in play to your own hand and play this site in its place. So you can replace one of your sites with a Mirage. So maybe there's a Genesis effect you want to get. So if I somehow miss this, I'd be surprised, but I think I have him here and I probably admit it. Just like, yep, I think I got you. I just move my Hydra off of his site, play Atlantean Fate to drown everything, and then swing in with the ship. So, of course, this being a Crossroads event, I want to make sure I'm being very careful. Don't just play a card and then assume it works and then you missed something or forgot something was there. So I'm very carefully doing this, even though I'm fairly confident that it's a W. But there's always things to consider in this game that you may miss. So just always take your time. I always personally worry that if I feel like I know I have the win and then I take my time to think through the turn to do the win, that it's kind of rude because it's like, just get it over with, right? However, I have seen cases where people play a card thinking they win, but they forgot something. And that actually happened at this event with another individual playing in the limited rounds, and he played a card, but a judge came by and noticed that there was a missed trigger from the previous turn, so they reversed the turn. So the guy revealed his card, and then they reversed the turn. So now the enemy knew that he has a card that could kill him the next turn. So he did a different thing and then it ended up coming back and winning. So that was very unfortunate and sad to see. But just an example of where even if you think you have the game, take your full turn because you could mess it up. But in this case, it worked. Again, shout outs to Poop Gore the Defiler. Your name is the worst, but you're a wonderful human being, super nice individual. If you guys ever match up against this individual, do not let his name taint your opinion of him whatsoever, because he's a beautiful soul, beautiful person. Thank you guys for watching. This was round 4 from SCG Con Las Vegas, and I'll see you guys in round 5. Thank you. Bye-bye.